Cloud Manager now offers complete workflows for managed service providers or MSPs to offer cloud-managed Wi-Fi as a service to their customers. It has 100% visibility into customer Wi-Fi deployments and centralized multi-site management through a single portal. MSPs can increase operational efficiency by monitoring, configuring, and troubleshooting remote Wi-Fi deployments over the cloud, and best of all, it's free. In order to use the MSP portal, you'll need to contact customer service or visit xclaimwireless.com to request MSP access to get started. Then you'll log in through the Xclaim portal with your MSP username and password. In our case, our username is Xclaim-MSP and we have a password, so we'll go ahead and log in. When you first log in, you'll come to the dashboard. So let's spend some time to go through the dashboard to familiarize you with it. First, you see in the upper left-hand corner, you see the access points. In this case, I have a total of 5. 4 of them are assigned and 1 is unassigned. That means that 4 APs have been assigned to tenants and 1 is still left in our inventory to be assigned. The next box over is the tenant status. So we have a total of 6 tenants, with 6 being normal and none of them needing attention. And then on the right, we have the top tenants by APs. So the top tenants here is listed by the company name. If you look in the middle here, under 6 tenants, we have the company name, we have the admin name, so this will be the name of the person who's going to be the admin. We have the location of what country it's in, the email address, and then we have various tags over here. Since we are managing multiple tenants, if I wanted to go to an individual tenant, I would then click on View. So this brings up an individual tenant or an individual business. If you notice at the top, it says that you are now using Cloud Manager as, and it lists the admin for the tenant that you are logged in as. You can select any of the listed admins to go to the various tenant portals. So in this case, I'm logged in under the Xclaim Wireless business, and I see that I have 4 access points, 2 online, 2 offline. It gives me the AP Health. These are the normal windows that we see as if we were logged in as an individual Cloud Manager account. So we've already been through all these windows, but if I was an MSP and I wanted to go in then and configure my access points, I would then select the Access Point tab, and I would see the access points. I could select one of the APs, and I could do an action over here, such as attach a wireless LAN or edit, reboot, reset, or upgrade. If I go to the network page, I would see the various SSIDs that I've set up, and I could do all the things that I would normally do if I was logged into the Cloud Manager. So remember, you are an MSP, you're going into a particular business, and you are setting up, configuring the various access points and networks. So we've already gone through this menu in other videos. So I'll go ahead and go back to the MSP portal. Okay, so back on the dashboard, I had gone in to the Xclaim Wireless company by going to View, and that put me into Cloud Manager to manage that particular company. So back on the MSP portal, I have also a tenants menu up here. So on the tenants page, I see the 6 tenants. They're listed by name. This is the admin name. They're listed by location and company. So for example, if I wanted to select the Xclaim Wireless tenant, I could go over here and I could disable or enable. I could edit that tenant. So if I click on Edit, if I wanted to change the name or any of the email addresses, or if I wanted to add multiple tenants, I could do that at this point. So I'm going to cancel out of that. If I also select a tenant, I could go under bulk action and I could enable, disable, or delete the account in this manner. Something to note is that none of these other tenants except for Xclaim Wireless have any APs associated with them. That's because this is a demo and we only have a few access points set up. But let's say I'm an MSP that has 100 access points and I'm going to be assigning those access points to different businesses. Those access points would be listed under my inventory. So in this case, I only have 5 access points. And if we look at the APs by model, it says that I have 1 XI1, I've got 1 XI2, and I've got 3 XI3s. So we have a little legend down here saying what the color means. The AP by status, 1 of them is unassigned and 4 of them are assigned. And the top tenants by APs is my Xclaim Wireless here. So I've got 4 APs assigned to that company. If I wanted to add additional access points, I could go over here on the left, click on Access Point, and I would put in the serial number, give it a name, tell what the model was, and then give it a tag. So that's very similar to what we've seen before. If I wanted to add multiple access points, let's say I had 20 that I wanted to add and I had them in a CSV spreadsheet, I could just go ahead and browse to that CSV spreadsheet and add them in this way. Since we have 5 access points and one of them is not assigned, if I click on the unassigned access point and go under bulk action, you'll see that I can assign it to a tenant, remove it from a tenant, move it to a tenant, or remove from inventory. So I'm going to assign it to a tenant. It'll bring up assigned tenant list, and I can select the tenant that I want. So I'm going to attach this to Xclaim Wireless and then hit confirm. And you'll notice that it now has been assigned, and if I look at the top tenants by APs, the Xclaim Wireless now has 5 APs. If I go back to the tenants menu, you'll see now that under Xclaim Wireless, I have 5 APs assigned to that company. If I wanted to create a new tenant, I would click on Create Tenant, and I could give it a name. And I'll put in John Doe, Fresno Coffee is my company. I can put in the username of the admin, and I can put in a password, tell them the country, and give it a tag. So we'll put down the tag Fresno here, and then I would click Done. So now we have John Doe, who's with Fresno Coffee, gives me the admin email address, and that tenant is now part of the MSP portal. Now if I wanted to assign APs to that tenant, then I would go up to the Inventory tab if I had spare inventory, and I could assign APs. So let's go ahead and delete that tenant. So I would click on the tenant. Under bulk action, I could say delete account. It asks me to confirm it, and I've now successfully deleted that tenant. Under the Reports tab, I can select several types of reports. I can select an MSP summary report, an inventory report, or a tenant report. The inventory report and the tenant reports are all sub-reports that would be included in the MSP report. So I'll click MSP summary report, and I'll generate the report. Depending upon what browser you have, it might ask you to save it, or it might just open it. So the report is down here. I'm going to open it up. And as we look through this report, it says summary report created on the date, created for the company name. If I scroll down, it gives my APs by model number. So we have a total of 5 APs. It gives me some statistics on those. The AP serial number, the model, the date created, the status, and the tenant's name. So if you had 100 APs out here, this could be a good way of finding out which APs were assigned to which companies. If I scroll down a little further, it goes APs by tenant, gives me a bar graph, and at the bottom it gives me tenant statistics, such as the name, location, company, date created, and the number of APs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close the report out. If I go to settings, so the default setting is the profile setting. Here it gives me the name, last name, email address, company, and the current password. I could go down and change the password if I wanted to, and I would update it down here. If I wanted to add an additional administrator, I could click on this and I could add an admin to it, and I could fill out the information here and add an additional admin. If I wanted to add multiple admins, let's say I had 5 or 10 and I had some names in a spreadsheet, I can get those names from a CSV spreadsheet as well. We'll cancel out on that. So that's a quick overview of the Managed Service Provider portal. Remember that this portal is free and you'll need to contact Xclaim support to sign up for your account.